Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers, sisters, future students, inshallah. You know, many times when we talk about losing hope, we always seem to connect that with losing hope in the chance of being forgiven or in the chance of having mercy shown to you. But there is another form of hopelessness that we're going to address, inshallah. And that is su'al dhann in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, when we talk about su'al dhann with one another, having bad thoughts and bad assumptions about one another, sometimes we don't realize that can also carry on to our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what that means is when you feel like you have no hope of changing your life, of becoming that person who is acceptable in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is almost as bad as losing hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's also another form of despair. Inshallah ta'ala, in this class, dear brothers and sisters, and when I say it's going to be life-changing, inshallah, I'm not exaggerating. You take the class and you tell me afterwards if it was life-changing or not. Because we are going to be studying one of the most incredible works that has ever been produced on the face of the earth, and that is Mukhtasar Minhaj al-Qasideen, which is the methodology of the seekers, and that is a summary by Imam Ibn Qudama rahimahullah of the summary of Ibn al-Jawzi rahimahullah of the masterpiece of Imam al-Ghazali rahimahullah, al-Ihya Ulum al-Din. But in particular, what we will do, inshallah, is we will look at the problems, al-muhlikat, the destructive flaws, the things that can prevent us from really attaining the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the things that might be stopping us from changing, the things that might be preventing us from really realizing that relationship that we know we're supposed to have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and really tasting the sweetness of our iman and the good deeds that we have provided to us in the example of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we're going to study this soul deeply, how we can change it, how we can raise it, how we can purify it, and how we can make it acceptable in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And inshallah ta'ala, I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. I look forward to seeing all of you, inshallah, behind the scenes, a deep look and in-depth study of the spiritual practices of the best generations. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst their followers. Allahumma ameen. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.